The Wise King Rabbit and the Three Foolish Parrots. Once upon a time, in the middle of a lush green forest, there was a small grove called Starry Grove. This grove was peaceful, and its animals lived in harmony. There were green trees, clear streams, and colorful flowers bloomed all year round. A king ruled over this grove, the wise King Rabbit, Kelly. King Kelly had a small body, but he possessed an extraordinary wisdom and a calm demeanor. He always solved the animals' problems with his wisdom, earning him the love and respect of all the creatures in the grove. His 2 ears were always listening, and his eyes were always full of wisdom. However, on the outskirts of the grove lived 3 foolish parrots. They were the leader Lingo, the second Mime, and the third Bello. They each had different personalities, but they were all alike in their foolishness and greed for food. They always squawked loudly, disturbing the other animals. The 3 parrots were always jealous of King Kelly's wisdom and wanted his position. One day, a cruel hunter named Ayar arrived at Starry Grove. Hunter Ayar was a man who captured animals from the forest to increase his wealth. He was known as a very skilled hunter who could catch any animal. He arrived with his bow and arrows and a full set of traps. When Hunter Ayar arrived, the animals in the grove were terrified and fled. Even the birds dared not make a sound. The 3 parrots were also afraid of Hunter Ayar. However, they were unhappy with King Kelly's rule, so they conspired to use the hunter to get rid of him. The 3 of them went to Hunter Ayar and said, "Great hunter, there is a wise King Rabbit in the grove. He is very intelligent. If you can catch him, he will be a truly valuable prize for you." Lingo remembered the hunter's words and spoke back and forth with him. Mime imitated the hunter's mannerisms and pretended to befriend him. Bello used his loud voice to capture the hunter's attention. The 3 parrots gave the hunter the information because they wanted the king's position. Hunter Ayar listened to the 3 parrots and laughed. "How can a rabbit be so smart? He'll be an easy catch for me." The hunter set up traps to catch the king rabbit and hid in the grove. He had special magical ropes, poisonous arrows, and cunning traps. King Kelly sensed the fear of the animals in the grove and knew that the hunter had arrived. He immediately understood the hunter's intentions. He also noticed the 3 parrots' betrayal, but he remained calm and decided to use his wisdom to solve the problem. King Kelly called the 3 parrots to him and said, "I know Hunter Ayar has arrived. He wants to capture me. Can the 3 of you help me? You are good at talking and are fast, but I want to know how much wisdom you have." Lingo said, "I am the best at talking. I will use beautiful words to deceive the hunter and lead him astray." He flew into the forest and approached the hunter. He tried to trick the hunter with words of praise and misleading phrases. But Hunter Ayar shot a magical rope that mimicked his voice, catching Lingo. Lingo was trapped in the magical rope and could only repeat the hunter's words. Mime said, "I am the best at mimicking. I will copy the hunter's movements and trick him." He flew into the forest and approached the hunter. He mimicked the hunter's walk and the way he held his sword. But Hunter Ayar produced a magical mirror that confused perception. Mime saw his own reflection in the mirror and, while mimicking himself, got lost and walked into one of the hunter's traps. Bello said, "I can squawk loudly. I will yell loudly and frighten the hunter." He flew into the forest and squawked loudly. But Hunter Ayar produced a magical bird cage that could control sound. The sound from the magical cage made Bello's ears hurt, and as he screamed in terror, he flew straight into the magical cage. When all 3 parrots were caught in the hunter's traps, King Kelly went to them. "Do you understand now that your abilities to talk, mimic, and squawk are useless without wisdom? Your foolishness led you into these traps." The 3 parrots regretted their foolishness and hung their heads in shame. King Kelly used his wisdom to rescue the three parrots from the traps. He found the root of a special tree that could cut magical ropes and used it to free Lingo from the magical rope. Then he found a type of ice stone that could reflect the light of a magical mirror and used it to destroy Mime's magical mirror. Finally, he found a type of soil that could absorb sound and used it to block Bellow's magical birdcage. The three parrots were freed from the traps. King Kelly then told the three parrots to destroy the hunter's traps. The three parrots obeyed King Kelly and destroyed all of the hunter's traps. They cut the ropes of his bows, smashed his traps, and destroyed his poisonous arrows. When Hunter Ayar saw his traps destroyed, he was furious and began to hunt for the King Rabbit. King Kelly devised a secret plan to deceive the hunter. He used the secret paths of the forest to lead the hunter in circles. He used entangled vines to block the hunter's path, and used the moving trees to lead the hunter astray. Hunter Ayar chased the King Rabbit and became lost and exhausted in the forest. His anger grew more intense. While the hunter was lost and exhausted, King Kelly used his final tactic to deceive him. He gathered the animals of the forest and had them make loud noises. The monkeys threw rocks from the trees. The birds pooped on the hunter's head. The bears roared and threatened the hunter. These sounds terrified Hunter Ayar, and he tried to run away. But King Kelly led him toward a huge cliff on the mountain. This cliff was very deep and had sharp rocks at the bottom. It was night, so the hunter could not see the bottom of the cliff. Hunter Ayar followed the King Rabbit and reached the edge of the cliff. He suddenly stopped and yelled, "You tricked me. I will never let you capture me." King Kelly stood on the other side of the cliff and said calmly, "Your foolishness led you to this place. Your cruelty made you lonely. This grove is not a place for someone like you." Hunter Ayar became enraged and ran toward the King Rabbit. He tried to shoot the rabbit with his bow, but the rabbit quickly dodged. Hunter Ayar, not seeing the edge of the cliff, fell. He plummeted into the chasm with his bows, arrows, and traps, and disappeared forever. With Hunter Ayar gone, Starry Grove became peaceful again. The animals' fear disappeared, and they lived happily. The trees became green again, and the flowers bloomed once more. The three parrots regretted their foolishness and went to pay their respects to King Kelly. They praised the king's wisdom and asked him to forgive their mistakes. King Kelly forgave the three parrots and said, "Your abilities are useless if they are not used correctly. Wisdom and a pure heart are the only real powers." The three parrots remembered the king's words and changed into protectors of the grove. They stopped squawking loudly and remembered the king's words, teaching the other animals to use wisdom. And so, Starry Grove was filled with peace and prosperity because of King Kelly's wisdom, and the story of the King Rabbit, the three foolish parrots, and the hunter lived on for generations. This story taught the value of wisdom and the consequences of foolishness, and showed that with wisdom, any difficulty can be overcome.